Hey guys.
Hey.
Today is August 31st.
August 31st.
So we just passed the big horror weekend. And by big horror weekend, I mean the releases of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 and the fourth installment in the Final Destination films. Really?
No, I'm just making noises.
Which is called The Final Destination, and it was in 3D.
Yes.
I think we're gonna go through. Let's go through Final Destination first.
Right.
Start off with a good note.
Who directed that?
The same guy that directed Snakes on a Plane.
And Final Destination 2.
Really?
Yeah.
No wonder I liked it. Now, I mean, when you're going into this film, you kind of have to go into it knowing what the other ones are. So it's not going to be anything intelligent, I would say. No. Nothing really thought-provoking. It's mostly an entertainment ride. And this one really much did feel like a ride with the 3D and all. It felt like they were giving us kind of what we wanted. And there was a lot of what I was surprised with. For some reason, I didn't think there was going to be a lot of throwbacks to the other ones, but there were.
Yeah, the newspaper clippings.
Mm-hmm. The intro sequence.
The opening titles.
With a lot. I thought some pretty good special effects.
Yeah.
And I feel like they also use some practical effects too, like fake blood and whatnot. But for the most part, I really enjoyed the film. I've been reading a lot of reviews that are saying, you know, nothing thought-provoking here. Your standard, you know, next one. They think that there's going to be another one, stuff like that. But I think I would much rather sit through these films than the Saw films, is what the Saw films have turned into.
I stopped watching after the third one, so
I keep up with them just because, just like everybody else. So
I want to watch the fourth one, but no one I know has it. And I don't want to go out and spend like $10 on it.
Yeah.
So I'll just like get rid of it after that.
Yeah.
So
but for the most part, I enjoyed this film.
I really enjoyed it.
And I would give it a 4 out of 5. I mean, like I said, it's nothing like that's going to warrant me to watch it like a lot. And the 3D does give it a little bit better.
I thought the 3D was pretty good.
But the question is it good without the 3D? I think it's still entertaining.
Yes.
So I mean, they have those Rube Goldberg things where it's like one thing causes another thing to stab you. It's something really out there.
I thought a lot of it was something falls and hits a switch.
Yeah.
That happened a couple times.
It seemed like it happened a lot. But for the most part, I enjoyed it. So 4 out of 5 for me.
7 out of 10. Because I really wasn't expecting anything
yeah.
worthwhile. Like I was going in thinking like, okay, this is gonna be fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is gonna be not realistic.
Mm-hmm.
So.
By the way, this is Lex. He's interrupting the interview.
I don't mind.
The other film we watched, which we'll try not to go on too big of a rant for because we've gone on many rants about this, is Halloween 2, directed by Rob
Zombie's
Zombie.
H2.
Now,
hands down, best movie of the summer. Scratch that, reverse it. Hands down, worst movie of the summer.
I really think it was the worst movie of the
This
summer.
is the worst movie I've seen since The Black Dahlia, which is a really bad movie.
Yes, it was.
It kept me up all night thinking about how bad a movie could have been.
Because that movie was advertised as one thing and it was something else. Kind of like this movie.
Yes.
This movie was advertised as a Halloween movie, a horror movie, but it really felt like an experimental film with Mike Myers.
Yes. Grizzly Adams.
Once again, Rob Zombie managed to get Sheri Moon, his wife, into it. Once again, managed to make every character a carbon copy of themselves, as in white trash.
Everyone in this movie is white trash.
Like, that's fine to a point. I mean, like, you can consider it part of style.
It's fine if it revolved around in the trailer park, not a whole city.
It should have just taken place in a trailer park. Because I just
checked Haddonfield wasn't full of white trash.
And he really messed up a lot of things with the iconic character. Mike Myers is not my. I think Mike Myers is your favorite
Mike Myers
of the
is
slashers.
my favorite.
Freddy Krueger's mine, but Mike Myers is known as the Shape.
Yes.
He doesn't really have a personality. He doesn't express anything human.
Nope.
The
only sounds he makes is breathing.
Yeah. And in this one, he grunts when he kills.
He does.
He yells.
He grunts when he kills. When he gets hit, he'll make noises.
Yeah. Didn't when he, I think at one point, not giving away too much, doesn't he get shot and he screams?
He's Grr!
And I was like, Mike Myers?
He screams while killing the one guy.
Oh, repeatedly.
Yeah.
It really didn't feel like a Holland. Malcolm
gosh.
McDowell, once again, in the first one, I felt like he just showed up for a paycheck. In this one, I felt like he wanted to completely rewrite the history of Dr. Loomis.
I was thinking about what you said the other day, like, how would I describe Donald Pleasance as Loomis?
Mm-hmm.
Eccentric.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about stopping evil. Because they're on opposite ends of the spectrum. Pure evil, pure good.
The original Loomis was obsessed with, he's not dead, we must get him,
Yes.
we must protect them. And this Loomis,
It's all about Michael Myers is dead, I just want to sell my book and get money.
yeah, he was a showboat.
Yeah.
And he's like, if I want answers out of you, I'll beat them out of you. And I was like,
If I want your opinion, I'll beat it out of you.
when would Dr. Loomis, one of the Ahab characters, as Behind the Mask would title it, become like this side character that in the long run just adds nothing to the film but portions of it where you're looking at and you're like, why am I watching this?
Yes.
And I mean, there is a laundry list of things wrong with this movie, as well as the cinematography people are raving about. I'm sorry, it's not good.
Everything is so dark.
You can't see what's going on. He shoots through windows that are all rainy and blurred, and that's supposed to be good cinematography. No, it's just he couldn't get the angle he wanted, and that's what he did. And if that was intentional, it's just poor. It's very poor. And a lot of people had a problem with that in the first one. If he didn't change it for this one, I mean, obviously he's on his high horse and thinks what he's doing is being raved about because people like his previous films like House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects, both of which I hated. So for this film, it's very hard to even give it. I would sit through the first one, which I absolutely hated, more than I would sit through this one again. So I'm going to give this one a 1 out of 5. Just for the pure fact that it is a horror movie and there are slasher parts, but it is not rewatchable by me. I will not buy it, and I own almost all the Halloween movies. I will not buy this movie, and I do not recommend you watch it unless you really want to see an example of a bad movie.
I was going to give this a 1 out of 10 because Brad Dourif did a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
I decided to give it 2 out of 10 just because Weird Al shows up and Mark Boone Jr. shows up for a scene.
Yeah,
and I like Mark
good
Boone
cameos
Jr.
there.
Yes,
but overall, not too good.
And I'd rather stop talking about this movie because I can really go on for hours and
Yeah.
hours about what a piece of crap this is.
And I totally agree. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll give you our DVD reviews of the week and talk about what's coming out this week.